그러다가 눈을 딱 떴어요. 약간 그 꿈이랑 현실을 구분을 못해가지고 이제 진짜 끝났다. 존중과 이해는 존중 이해가 꼭 나도 사람이야. 세상에 너무 고맙고 우리도 오늘 정말 행복하게 마무리할 수 있어.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Diaries channel. Wait a minute, don't skip this video. Because if you still believe everything that's been said about Jungkook is a lie, then what we're about to discuss now might leave you speechless. Jungkook himself is bringing up the past. Not for drama, not for sensation, but to remind us of something that's been deliberately erased. Why do so many people lie about their relationships? Why is every moment that feels real always forced to be coincidence? In this video, we'll see how one sentence by Jungkook, one small memory from the past, shatters all those false narratives. And after you watch it all the way to the end, you might ask yourself, who was really lying all this time? Why are there so many lies? The question doesn't come from hatred, but from exhaustion. Exhaustion of seeing the truth constantly twisted, moments so sincere forced into coincidence, and feelings so clearly visible in the eyes, in body language, and in silence, yet still pretended never to have existed. Jungkook doesn't shout. He doesn't stand at the podium and deliver a long speech, but precisely in his calm manner, in the short sentences he utters, in the gaze he casts into the past, Jungkook brings back everything that happened and unknowingly proves something many have tried to hide. That what existed between him and Jimin wasn't a lie, not a fantasy, not a fabricated narrative. It was real. It was alive. And it never truly went away. When Jungkook talks about the past, there's a different vibe. It's not empty nostalgia, not just an old story for fans' entertainment. There's a pent-up emotion, as if he's opening a box of memories that has been forced shut too many times by others. He remembered the early days, when everything was simple, when they were still searching for each other amidst the crowd of trainees, when the world hadn't yet forced them to learn how to hide their feelings. And that's where the first lies began to form. When two people grow too close, the world becomes uneasy. When that closeness can't be explained with ordinary labels, lies are created to make others feel comfortable. Many said it was just fan service. Many said it was just part of the job. But how could the feelings that arise when the camera cuts off, when the sound fades, when there are only two bodies understanding each other without words, be called acting? Jungkook, in his own way, refuted it all not with anger, but with memory. He remembered how Jimin was always by his side when he was in doubt, how a small touch on the shoulder or a brief glance was enough to calm him, how Jimin's presence felt like a home, even when the world felt too big and too loud. So why do some people still lie? Why do some still refuse to see? Because the truth is often more frightening than a lie. Truth demands that we acknowledge that love doesn't always come in the form we expect, that feelings don't always follow social conventions, and that two people can connect deeply without needing to explain themselves to anyone. Lies, on the other hand, provide a safe distance. They allow people to say, "It wasn't real," and then walk away without having to face the reality that maybe, just maybe, they were wrong. Jungkook never directly said, "I love Jimin," in the explicit words everyone wanted to hear. But love doesn't always require declaration. Love lives in consistency, in the way he always looks for Jimin in a room full of people, in the way he says Jimin's name in a tone different from everyone else's, in how he brings the past into the present, as if to say, "I'm still here, and the feeling is still here too." Every time Jungkook remembers something only the two of them know, every time he smiles a little at the mention of Jimin's name, the lie the other person has built begins to crack. What hurts most about all these lies isn't the rejection of Jungkook, but how they try to erase real emotions. It's as if Jungkook and Jimin's feelings aren't valid. It's as if all those moments were just imagination. But if we're honest with ourselves, there are things that can't be faked. The way someone reflexively protects another, the way their body subconsciously moves closer, the silence that feels louder than words. It's all there, recorded, and lives on in the memories of those who care to see. When Jungkook brings the past to the surface, he's not opening wounds. He's showing that what they have is strong enough to withstand time, pressure, and lies. He's proving that love doesn't have to be loud to be real, that the deepest relationships are often the quietest. And that's where many people fail to understand Jungkook. They look for big drama, explosive confessions, or evidence that can be cut into 10-second clips. But their love lies in the space between them all.
빨개지고 있다.
자, 근데 정국 씨 눈물 고였어요.
갑자기 왜?
There's anger in this title, Why So Many Lies? But that anger isn't without cause. It's the anger of those tired of seeing the truth twisted, tired of Jungkook having to speak carefully, bringing up the past gently, just to avoid being misinterpreted. Tired of seeing Jimin constantly being the one whose feelings are analyzed, questioned, or was even erased. And amidst it all, their love endures, quietly, consistently, and truly. Maybe one day the lies will stop. Maybe one day people will be brave enough to admit what has long been obvious. But even if that day never comes, one thing remains constant. Jungkook has brought the past before us, not to prove anything to the deniers, but to be honest with himself. And in that honesty, we see an undeniable truth. That what existed between Jungkook and Jimin was something more than just a story. It was a love that endured, even though the world continued to lie about it. And perhaps, in the end, the question, why so many lies, doesn't need to be answered. Because the truth stands alone, calm, and needs no defense. Like Jungkook, who remembers the past with honest eyes. Like Jimin, who is always there, even when his name is not mentioned. Like Jimin's love, which remains alive, even though it continues to be denied. And before we close this video, let's take a moment to breathe. Because what we just discussed isn't just a rumor, isn't just a twisted snapshot, but a story of feelings that endure amidst so many lies. Jungkook may not shout at the world, and Jimin may not explain anything in long words, but that's where the truth feels strongest. In the silence, in the memories, and in the way they remain present for each other through time. If you're tired of seeing the truth twisted, if you sense there's something real behind it all, you're not alone. Thank you for watching until the end. Thank you for opening your heart and looking deeper, not just at what the world wants to show, but at what's truly felt. Don't forget to like if this video speaks to you. Subscribe so we can continue discussing these often overlooked moments, and leave your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to know what part of Jungkook and Jimin's story most convinced you that not all love needs to be announced to be real. See you in the next video. Stay true to your feelings, and don't let lies obscure what's already plain to see.